Mm-mm.
Ninth round pick out of the Citadel in 1981. Stump carved out a successful NFL career with the Cardinals.
He's strong. He can move. He was agile. He can make guys miss. He had it all. He had everything in the game.
In Cardinals franchise history, only Larry Fitzgerald has more all-purpose yards.
He did it all, man.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Browns fans. I want to welcome everyone to the Stump Talk Podcast, Running Back University, Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, episode 13. How you doing, Coach Stump Mitchell?
Great. Ro, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm going to tell you, Coach, this never gets old. Every time we do a podcast, I go back to the beginning days, and it's always a surprise. We are blessed to have the wizard and somebody with your knowledge, and I never get used to it. It's like the first episode every time I see the beard and see that look. So I'm ready to get after it tonight, Coach. The hot topic, we're going to jump right in this, Coach. And Shedeur Sanders made his debut. The first quarterback to win his debut with the Browns, I believe, 20 years. Shedeur was 11 for 20, one touchdown, one interception, 87.3 passer rating. The Browns beat the Raiders 24-19. Judkins was 16 for 47, two touchdowns from the Wildcat. Obviously, we'll get into that. Sampson had a 66-yard screen pass and went for a touchdown. We had a long pass to Bond for 52 yards, got a flash and a glimpse from that kid. Coach, dive right in. What are your thoughts?
The main thing is that they won. You know, those guys go out, they play their butts off, they practice their tails off, and they want to win. And that's the most important thing. They were able to get a win. Defense definitely dominated that team. Those guys are still playing. And that's simply because of the leader that Jim Schwartz is. They believed in him from day one when he walked into that building, and they're continuing to believe regardless of what's going on the other side of the ball.
Well, Coach, we're not going to dance around the hot topic. I think there's been a lot of media relations, and it's had a little bit of racial undertones, which we're not going to dive into that aspect of it. We're going to keep it football. Coach, we talked about and saw Andrew Berry greeting Shedeur in the locker room afterwards. We also just discussed our guy, our producer, Russ, was at the game, and the crowd jeering when Dylan was in. Everybody's clamoring for Shedeur, and I think there's been Shedeur has been polarizing. What are your thoughts on Stefanski not giving him the game ball, and what do you think Barry's true feelings are about the kid?
Well, I thought that was crazy of Shedeur not being given a game ball for the simple fact it's obvious Stefanski don't understand history. I mean, there's been starting quarterbacks that were first round guys that have not won their first start. Eric Zaire won his first start. He was drafted number 20 in the third round. He won his first start. Two number one overall picks, Tim Couch in 1999 and Baker Mayfield in 2018 didn't win their first starts. Brady Quinn picked number 22 in the first round of the 2007 draft, and Braden Whedon picked number 22 in the first round of the 2012 draft. Didn't win their first start. Okay. Deshaun Kaiser, second rounder, didn't win his first start. Charlie Fry, Colt McCoy, Cody Kessler, Dylan Gabriel, all third rounders, didn't win their first start. Luke McCown, fourth rounder. Dorian Thompson Robinson, fifth rounder, didn't win their first start. So that's not something you take lightly. And to really be honest, when you take a look at the when Kevin did that in the locker room, it seemed like it went kind of quiet. I think the players were expecting more. Yeah, Miles got a game ball, but the defense got 10 sacks. That's a game where you give all those defensive players a game ball, not just Miles. And when you take a look at Andrew Berry, when he embraced Shador, it was like, man, I don't know. When he turned around, it's not an expression of yeah, we got it. It's not that type of expression. It's like, what are we going to do? And then for Kevin to say on, I think it was Monday, he's not sure who's the start in. I don't think Mr. Haslam really meddled in a whole hell of a lot, but I do think he said after that statement, hey, Kevin had a message waiting on his phone to come see me. I'll let you know who's going to be the starter. Shador, no question, is going to be the starter. And I feel bad for Gabriel because had he played in that game, they would have won also. Ain't no question in my mind about that. They would have won also. And the game before, he gave Shador a 6-point lead, and he wasn't able to hold on to it. So, hey, timing is everything. It's everything. Shador have the entire Browns behind him. That's something Gabriel didn't have, and hopefully, they can go out and they can perform.
Well, Coach, hearing that from you makes us we all can't be crazy, and to see the reaction of the head coach, the quarterback, this team for again, we won't even get to the racial aspect of it because it's definitely been a division of opinions on this whole deal, right? That no one's really came out and said. Again, I'll leave that alone for business purposes. But coach, there's no denying viewership is up. He's selling jerseys. The people want to see him play. I've seen this whole anti movement. African American women are tuning into football. Which was similar to the situation I would say, with Travis Kelsey and his girlfriend and all that. So he's driving people to watch games. At the end of the day, it's a business. And so, as you said, Coach, I would agree. It makes sense that has him probably let him know. I'm still running the business here, Coach. But I think it's kind of sad. And I want to ask you, Coach. You got a rookie quarterback for whatever it's worth, whether you like Shador or not. You are trying to steer the ship in the right direction. I think it's notable to say Miles Garrett was very outspoken. He did everything but jump out of shoes. Miles Garrett loves Shador Sanders. He can't even hide it, right? He got his money, and he was like a little kid on the sideline. I just sent you a Twitter post from I think it was Wyatt Teller's wife showing her husband, starting offensive lineman for the Browns, throwing Shador in the air. Coach, as a head coach, why wouldn't you use this situation to galvanize your team?
Well, what I don't like is that tweet that you sent me. I really don't like that because that can uh, cause some dissension between amongst the wives. To be perfectly honest, I think Gabe has done everything that he possibly can. That offensive line, they've been beaten and battered. Uh,
Mhm.
I mean, Joe had the same thing. It's been the offense. I truly believe, taking nothing from Shador, but I believe any quarterback that was playing that game, except for myself, would have won that game for the Browns. I just feel that way. Uh, the Raiders probably the worst team in the league right now, and then you would have to put uh, I would say the Titans and the Browns somewhere there. That's just my opinion. So that tweet I didn't particularly care for, being a ex coach and an ex player, because you don't want to create any dissension. Every player that I played with, they pulled for Otis Anderson, but when I got in the ball game, they pulled for Stump Mitchell. Okay, every player that I've coached, I've pulled for that individual. Period, and that's just the way it goes. But fans, it's a different time now. They drive the media, and they drive ticket sales. That's what Shador does, and Mr. Haslam is in the business to making money and also trying to get a new stadium as well. it was no question who was going to be the starter. Now this is going to be a whole different ball game with them playing the 49ers. Okay, they got a defense that's going to be much more ready to go, and I think that offense this week is going to have to try to find a way to help the defense out because uh, Purdy is back playing, and McCaffrey. They got some weapons there on their offensive side of the ball. But the good thing for Cleveland is that they're going to have the weather in their favor, but they're still going to have to pass the ball because they're not going to just be able to run the ball. I mean, Junkin, if he's able to average 4 yards in that game, that'll be a heck of a deal. So they're going to have to try to be able to pass the ball when they have the wind to their backs, and I think they'll have a shot at this game because defense is definitely going to come out and they're going to play.
Well, Coach, again, and we talked earlier about substance over sensationalism, right? We all love Shador, but if we really look at his stats, and there still was some mistiming, and for being just honestly critical as we are on Dylan, Coach. But do you feel that at this point in time, let's just say Dylan's 100% healthy, has Shador earned the right to be the starter, regardless of the economic impact that he brings? Is Shador your starter based on play on the field going into next week?
I mean, everything is the same for me. I mean, it's no question. Shador is a starter right now. Regardless, Dylan has no control over it now. Shador is a starter. Had Dylan been able to play against the Raiders, he would still be the starter. He wasn't able to play, all right, because he didn't get the reps. Uh, Whoever wanted Shador to have the opportunity, he had the opportunity against the right team. And now I hope Shador can uh, can play well against the 49ers. I don't think they'll beat the 49ers, but I hope he can play well against them. And his deal is legendary. That's what he says. He goes by legendary. Uh, I didn't watch the last play of the first game that he played in, but just reading some things, I think the receiver had a chance at the ball
He
in the
did.
end zone, and he didn't
Yeah.
drop it. So he Shador has proven that he can make some plays. Does he have some efficiencies? Who playing football doesn't? I don't think there's one guy that plays a game that haven't had some deficiencies at some point in time, and they constantly try to improve upon them if they really love the game, like they say they love the game, and if they hate being in a situation where they cost the team a game because of a fumble or interception, a missed tackle, whatever that may be, a drop ball. So I think Shador loved the game, and I think he'll work hard. Does he have to change his working habits? I think most quarterbacks that start their first year coming out of college have to change their habits because it's a different brand of football in the National Football League. Time consuming and all things being as they are.
Well, Coach, I'm gonna put my fan hat on and not Stump Mitchell's friend hat. Uh, if I never see Dylan again, I'm okay with that. I say that respectfully. I know the man has worked hard, but you said he's an NFL quarterback. You know a lot more about football than pretty much anybody I know. But just from an average fan's standpoint, Coach, and I'm sitting on the couch on a Sunday, I don't want to see Dylan, right? I'm good. I want to see the kid and see what he can do. But, Coach, I have a question regarding that. How long of a leash do they give Shador? I think it's important to note, Coach, they kicked from the 29-yard line, right? I thought that was a little odd. They also removed. They were first and goal two times, and in the first two times that the Browns were able to score, they took Shador off the field. They ran the Wildcat. Uh, Judkins was able to score, so it ended up being a good call because he scored. But at the time, we're all looking at the TV like, let the kid cook, But they allowed him not to make an error by removing him from the field. So, with that being said, Coach, uh, let's just say he goes out and has a subpar game. Do you think that the owner, based on the numbers and the viewership, keeps throwing the kid back out there? Because let's just be honest, Stefanski wants Dylan. I don't think that's up for conversation with that.
Well, I think Dylan deserved to be have been playing before him. I mean, I'm just looking at it from a football standpoint, But Dylan needs somebody like a Sean Payton. He don't need a Kevin Stefanski. Sean Payton can care less about your size. All he care about is your mental fortitude. Okay, and Dylan has that. Uh, Sean Payton is one with smaller quarterbacks. Okay, because his focus is entirely on a scheme that's going to allow those guys to be successful. Kevin is dealing all over the place. He don't right now. I thought he was pretty dang on bright, but the more I see of him, the less I see that he doesn't stand for anything. To be perfectly honest, and that's something that I don't say lightly. I'm only talking from what I see. He didn't stand for players. He don't stand for coaches. I don't know what he stand for, but he doesn't understand the importance of showing each and every player that he had in that locker room respect. And respect is backing your players. It's backing on Amari Cooper. It's backing on Donovan Peoples Jones. It's backing on Case Keenum. It's backing those guys. And he never had their backs, never at all. And those guys were successful, truly successful in allowing us to, I say us because I was with that team when we went to the playoffs, both times, in allowing us to go to the playoffs. And he turned his back on those guys. He don't know how to make decisions. The true leader of that team from a coaching standpoint, no question in my mind, is Jim Schwartz.
Speaking of Jim Schwartz, if you look at Garrett, who obviously is very probably one of the big guys in that locker room. You've been in locker rooms with guys, coach. You would know about that better than most of us, and all of us, I should say. Garrett was outspoken also after the game, regarding some of the throws that he saw, and it looked like Shador raised the level of play of the guys around him, coach. Now, I wanted you to address that. How accurate is that? That guys talk when you were a player. Was there certain guys when you felt should have been out there? Can a kid like Shador elevate the level of play of the people around him, not through his play, but because they may have some sentiments on who they want to be behind center, but can't say it?
Well, if that's the way they feel, that's the way they feel. You can't change. You can't tell a person how he feel. It's no question Shador broke the pocket and he threw a long ball. Joe Flacco could throw the ball deep. Stefanski became more of a dink and dunk type guy. Uh, the screenplay for 66 yards was really a play that was caught 5 yards in the backfield. It was caught 5 yards in the backfield, and the receiver did the rest of the work. But that's part of it. I mean, Shador get those yardage just like everybody else. It would have been a big play for everybody else too.
Right.
Blocking was outstanding on that play. Everybody did their job. Shador's number one job was to make sure you get the receiver the ball. I played in a game where if the back did what he was supposed to do, the quarterback would have gotten him the ball. He didn't. Made it tough and we didn't complete the ball. Everything worked perfect on that screen.
To Samson. Coach, I think another big topic that came from that game. Again, I'm gonna put my Browns fan hat on. Jerry Judy. I was talking to Russ about that and talking about his contract. Coach, this is me talking as a guy sitting on the couch. With a snack. I would bench him, right? I don't know what's going on there, but how would you address Jerry Judy? Just seems to be, not in tune. I don't know what, no one knows really what's going on. But the play he made was atrocious. It could have cost him the game. It obviously cost Shador some yardage. Just an unnecessary, very unfundamental play, coach. So how would you address the space that Jerry Judy is in? I think he leads the league in drops, right? Irregardless of that play, you know, those drops in for the money that he's being paid to catch footballs is should be addressed in some aspect.
Well, I would say Jerry Judy is taking pride. This isn't the first time I've seen this happen with receivers. Okay, take a look at Amari Cooper. They mismanaged Amari Cooper, and his mental wasn't there when he did come back with the Browns. But the year before, he had more receiving yards than he had ever in his career. Last year, the same thing with Jerry Judy. Okay, but now they come back to camp. It's totally different. Instead of him getting those reps with the number one quarterback, who they really said they didn't know, and they knew Joe was going to be the number one quarterback. They was shucking and jiving, and it didn't happen. So all of this affect these guys. Those receivers, Rush, those guys are prima donnas on every team. For the most part, you got them. Now you got Dak and Pickens, who's not that way in Dallas at the time being. They're just balling, okay. But when you offend those guys, you've done something, okay. That's not good for the team, and you got to find a way to get this guy some passes. There's only one football. All right. He may not catch them all, but at least throw them to him. They wasn't throwing the ball downfield. They haven't really been throwing the ball downfield. And you can get him some balls downfield. Make the opponent stop him. Don't you stop him. I mean, there's been games where he's only got 3 targets. Come on, man.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Well, Coach, this goes into what we talked about a few weeks ago. You talked to me about this from time to time again, which is you know, reading the pulse of your players, right? You told me some stories about just the coaching staff not being in tune with guys, right? You just talked about the receivers being divas, and so as a coach, what would be the approach from you to get Judy back in tune? And maybe he'd have never been out of tune with a guy like you, right? But we talk about the coaches and having an executive hat and walking into a locker room and not being able to relate to certain guys, right? And that comes with the job to be successful.
The first thing starts with a game plan. When a player walks in that locker room on Wednesday, they looking to see where are they the focal point. Okay, on Thursday it's a different part. It's special situations, and on Friday for the most part is red zone. So they're looking to see where they fit in, and if the game plan has them with the number of targets where they're the specific guy, they feel pretty good. Now, when that player is calling a game, whether it come to them or not, if they know that they were at least the focal point and blocking didn't break down or they got overthrown or perhaps they dropped the ball, they feel appreciated. But when you don't have those number of targets for those guys, they don't see in the game plan that they should be getting it, then that's a problem.
Well, Coach, I want to segue into the topic of conversation. You've mentioned the mismanagement, coaches mismanaging situations. We talked about Baker Mayfield when he came back and he wasn't healed up, he was injured. You had Case Keenum making, I think you told me $6 million. You don't let the guy play, even though he played for Stefanski previously. And now we're looking into McCarthy and Minnesota. The rookie contract. Sam Darnold, who's up for MVP. It looks like. So, Coach, can you talk about that aspect specifically the Vikings and also coaches mismanaging players that they have on a roster? You always told me you got to know you got to win in situation, right? If you got a late round pick and he's performing, keep the guy on the roster.
Yeah, well, the Minnesota situation, that was a situation in which they had already paid McCarthy the big money. That was his signing bonus. Okay. And he really did well during training camp, but unfortunately he got hurt. And then Sam Darnold had the opportunity to come in and play extremely well. I've always been an advocate for Sam Darnold because I was in New York when we
Yeah.
drafted him, and we really mismanaged Sam from the coaching standpoint. Coming from USC, of course, his deal was he would throw the interception. But when I see that he can do everything else, me as a coach, I know this is all I need to work on. I need to make sure this guy understand where his weakness is. And he really didn't have that in Minnesota until the last couple of games. But are you gonna base this guy on what he did the entire year, or are you gonna worry about what he did during the playoffs the last couple games? he didn't play extremely well, but the guys around him didn't play extremely well either. I'm totally impressed, even more so now by Sam being in Seattle, because he goes there thinking he's going to have DK, and he gets traded away, and his other receiver as well. And now he's playing with with new receivers, and all he does is go there and set a franchise record with this receiver, and they still have 5 or 6 games left. So Sam is an unbelievable guy. Having already paid that bonus, they should have kept Sam. They could have put a transition tag on him, in which they would have had the opportunity to match any offer that he was offered, or they could have put the franchise tag on him, and his salary would have been higher. I think it would have been a certain percentage of what the starters are making, but it would not have been what the transitional tag. So there was options to keep Sam, but they didn't do it, and it's all worked out. And it could be between he and quarterback for the Rams right now.
Stafford.
Yeah, could be between both Sams as to who's going to be the MVP.
Well, Coach, I want to jump back a little bit. One thing I want to mention and ask you about. I'm curious from an NFL coach standpoint. It was mentioned that Shador was removed from the goal line situations because he hadn't had reps in the red zone in practice all year. So, how important is it for a quarterback to get reps in the red zone as opposed to just getting reps anywhere else on the field throughout a season or during the week, during game week? Is there something to that?
Listen, he was removed from the goal line package because they was running the Wildcat. Period. It didn't do They didn't need to keep him on. Usually they just put the quarterback out to the right or the left. All right, and they run the Wildcat. They ran it with Kareem, ran it with Nick, ran it with Jerome. So it was no big deal. Now they kept the quarterback on the field and they just moved him out. But now you don't have to worry about him. You put another guy in, whether it's a receiver, a tight end, or another back. At least you got to pay him some attention. But they're not
Right.
worried about the quarterback out there, so they
Well,
could make it. That was perfectly fine. They was running the Wildcat, and they knew they could bulldoze uh, the Raiders down there on the goal line.
moving forward, we got the 49ers coming up, Coach. I want to get your prediction on that, but in relation to what you just said, are they going to be, what happens when they get into a goal line situation against the 49ers? Are they going to be able to successfully go back? Obviously, everybody in America saw they ran the Wildcat. So, I mean, are they going to be able to keep reaching back into that same treasure box and make that a successful play? Or do they keep Shador on the field in the red zone?
Yeah, they're gonna keep him on the field in the red zone. I mean, that was just something that they did. They didn't have to take him off the field, but why not take him off the field? You got the quarterback, you got the running back there. They know what you're gonna do. So yeah, Shador is gonna. Yeah, it's not a big
Okay.
deal.
So what are your predictions? 49ers, they have game film. Coach, you've been in many, game film situations. Do the 49ers study the good and bad habits of Shador? How do they approach that game? How difficult will this game be for Shador as comparison to the lowly Raiders?
They're not worrying about Shador. Okay, Shador is 1/11th of that offense. That's all he is. 1/11th. They're more concerned about the weaknesses of the offensive line and how they can get pressure on him and force Shador into throwing interceptions. Shador has played 2 games and he's thrown an interception in both of them. So they feel like if they can get some pressure on him, that he'll put the ball up for grabs. Okay, that's what they know. That's what they can bank on. That's what they've seen. Now, if they don't come away with an interception, then they'll be disappointed. Okay, they can come away with the win and no interceptions. They'll be happy about the win, but they'll be disappointed because this will be his second game. This will be his third game, and if he don't throw an interception, that's a streak that he breaks. Okay, just so as a football guy, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at everything. It's not Shador. If we give Shador time, he can beat us. No question about it. He throws a beautiful deep ball. Okay, so my thing now, if I'm an OC, I'm trying to find a way to max protect and get Jerry Judy down the field. Give him an opportunity at some go balls. All right. And I got to do that when I have the win because it's supposed to be windy and the weather's not supposed to be great in Cleveland. But that's the time I try to take effect of those things. But Shador do okay if given the opportunity. It's still the same offensive line.
Coach, I don't know what year was it. Was it Lester Haynes that where they banned the stickum? They need to get Judy some of that stickum because he seems to drop balls. But I want to get into CMC, Christian McCaffrey. I know you're a big Christian McCaffrey guy. You talked about him a few times to me in the past. I believe he's leading the 49ers in receiving and rushing. Having a great year. He's a stud. What do you predict uh, the Browns defense against the 49ers? Brock Purdy is looks like he's kind of washed, but give us your prediction for the game. What's the score? What's going to happen?
Well, Brock is back. I mean, so they're happy to have him back. Uh, I think they're going to definitely have to try to slow Christian down from running the ball. But the 49ers, they're going to find a way to get him the ball, either in space. And now you're talking about the linebackers being able to cover him. But I think the 49ers are going to win. I think it might be a 17-10 ball game. I don't see it being a high scoring ball game due to the weather. I think both teams are probably going to try to throw the ball when they have the win at their back. If it's as bad as it can be in Cleveland, if it's not that bad, then you may have a 24-13 game.
Coach, before we get into the AFC North and the Thanksgiving Day games, I do want to get into a kid from our RBU running back spotlight of the week. Marty Tobin, Coach, I look for kids that kind of resonate with your story, being the underdog, uh, being a guy who's maybe not high on the radar, but outworks everyone. This kid is still in the state playoffs, and I notice against the big teams, he is a dog, right? He just had a playoff game against a top team in the state, and they had nationally ranked players. He had 199 yards, 22 carries, 2 touchdowns. His team is, I think, 2 games away from a state championship. He's 5'11", 190, 3.4 GPA. Our guard, Marty Tobin from Walsh Jesuit High School here in Ohio. Hello, I want to welcome everyone to the Stump Talk podcast, running back spotlight of the week. We have starting running back Marty Tobin from Walsh Jesuit. How
Yes,
you
sir.
doing, Marty?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very good. So I just want to start off by saying that I want to congratulate you on your playoff win.
Yes,
You
sir.
have been on a tear the last 7 or 8 games. I've looked at your numbers. It's been crazy. You are slept on, my friend. So you not only deserve some respect, but some applause. I think people are sleeping on you, my friend. I'm gonna jump out there and say it for you, so you don't. Truth is, you've been one of the best running backs in the state of Ohio
Yes, sir.
presently, and you deserve some congratulations. I know you worked hard. So,
Yes, sir.
how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. A little sore after the game, but I'm feeling good, man.
Marty, I just want to start off. What year are you? What's your number on your jersey?
I'm class of 26, and I wear number 5.
Tell everybody what your GPA is.
I have a 3.4 right now, cumulative.
Okay, so I want to highlight that you're a student athlete, so we always talk about the academics.
Yes, sir.
You guys spend a lot of time, punishing and
Hmm.
preparing your bodies and recuperating. So in your playoff game last week, you played against a top school in the state, against some nationally ranked recruits, and you rallied 22 carries for 199 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
That boy is a dog. That boy's a dog. I'm here
Thank
to
you.
tell you that's a dog. I know one when I see one. Well done, kid.
Thank
You know,
you. I appreciate it.
listen, feel proud about yourself, man. You had to put in work to be able to perform like that. Tell us about you. What do you want to say to your teammates right now, based on the playoff win? What do your teammates mean to you, Marty?
They mean everything. I mean, ever since I stepped in the school, so I'm like the only, me and my brother, the only kid from our county that go to Walsh Jesuit. So I didn't meet a lot of new kids coming in, and they're what I can call my brothers now. And I'm just so thankful for them, and I'm ready to win a state title. I'm gonna go with math. It's always been my best subject. It's always been what I've been best at.
Very good. Do you have a pregame music or a song to put you in the mood
So
or an
usually
artist?
I like calm music. Like I listen to like some like Frank Ocean or some like chill Drake. But usually when it's like 2 minutes till game time, I'll put on some like NBA YoungBoy or some pump up. But
Hey,
usually like
pause.
when it's like an hour before the game, I'll be like isolated without anyone in there, just like in my own room and just listening to some chill music to get me calm before the game.
You said Frank Ocean.
Yeah,
So can you sing?
no, I'm not a singer, man.
Okay, I'm just checking. I'm about to put you on the spot. So let's go.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I'm not a
who's
singer.
okay. Who's your favorite football player?
So I got like two. Like I watch film on, so I like Christian McCaffrey a lot. Obviously, he relates to me a lot. I feel like his elusiveness and his skill set of breaking tackles goes really well with me. And yeah, that's a guy I watch film on all the time, and he's a great player, and I look up to him watching him play football. Been my role model. I watch him all the time, and that's mainly the reason why I picked it.
Do you play any other sports at Wash?
I do not just football.
So how do you balance? You got a 3.4 GPA.
Yes, sir.
How do you balance your life with friends and football and whatever hobbies you have and school? How do you balance it all?
Yeah, so I try not to procrastinate, but I have two study halls this semester, and I usually try to get all my work done like during those study halls, and like mostly during school. I try not to procrastinate and just get all my work done during my classes.
Tell us about your family. What does your family mean to you? Who's in your family that motivates you? Most great football players have a strong family
Yes,
structure.
sir.
I want to say hello to moms. We are on her laptop right now and used her
Yes, sir.
email. Hey,
Yeah.
mom. Tell us about your family, Marty.
Yeah, so ever since I was born, I've had a big football family, big coaching family. So yeah, football means everything, and that's because of my family. I mean, my dad's my biggest motivator. I've had to face a lot of adversity my high school career. My dad's always been there every step of the way. Same with my mom; they've done everything for me, and I'm just so grateful for them. And I also have two brothers. One's a junior at Walsh, and he plays outside linebacker. And then I have an older brother who graduated. He went to South High School. He's at Cincinnati right now, and I'm just so grateful for them, man. It's everything to me. Yeah, so I feel like I could play running back. Like right now, I'm like 5'11", like 190. I feel like I could play at anywhere. I feel like I could play at the best of my ability at any college.
Hello, coach. So that's Marty Tobin. What do you think about that young man?
I like what I saw with Marty. I mean, he has the ability to make people miss. He's elusive, like you said. He can show some power attacking the defensive backs when he got to the edge. Definitely going to have a good career somewhere.
Very good. So congrats, Marty Tobin, Walsh Jesuit. They play Avon Lake this Friday, trying to win a state title. Good luck to Walsh and the coaching staff over there, coach. So I want to jump back right into the AFC North. We got the Ravens at 6-5, the Steelers at 6-5, the Bengals and the Browns both at 3-8. Coach, what are your thoughts on the AFC North? What are your predictions moving forward? What are we looking at?
You know, earlier, maybe a couple segments ago, in the past, I thought the Steelers early during the season would hold on to it, but I don't know now. The Ravens they were playing bad, but now they back to the point where they see that they can win the division, and it's all about having an opportunity to get in the playoffs. They've been in the number one spot and hadn't been able to hold it. So right now they're just looking to get in. I think they may end up winning the division now.
Coach, I believe there's what 7 more games to go, something like that. So coming down this part of the stretch of the NFL season, uh, you're dealing with, I guess, injuries and whatever's been going on during the season. So how do you get a team to get hot? Lamar Jackson, he gets on the street, coach. He can obviously be at an MVP level, at some point. What do you tell your team to get them hot, to get them going, and get the ship? The Ravens haven't looked very good either, coach, to be honest. And
No, they have not looked good, but I think they know what it takes in order to get things rolling. Harbaugh is a heck of a coach. Those players, they've been there for the most part, and they know what it takes to get back. They don't have a disbelief in their leader. They got new defensive coordinators and stuff of that nature, but I think they'll find a way to get it together.
one of the things we do that got to cover, coach, is we want to give a happy birthday to the great Bernie Kosar, who always, hey, how Stump? He asked about you, coach. I don't think he cares about me as much, but he always like, where man is my guy Stump? So happy birthday to Bernie. He just got a new liver, coach.
Yeah, happy birthday! I saw that, man, and I'm so happy for him, and sadness for the parents because of the loss of a kid, but of a young man. But that's what you're talking about, man. When you're talking about decisions, when you're talking about Browns fans, it's there are no other. This young man, he know his life on this earth is not gonna last much longer. He knew that. His parents knew that, and he wanted to always be remembered, as a Brown fans in the hearts of other Browns fans. I mean, that's just unbelievable. It'll be nice if the organization somehow find a way to put some kind of sign or something in that stadium representing that young man. You talking about a true Browns fan? This guy, when they say died a Browns fan, you
Yes, sir.
can't get anything bigger than that. Uh, that's what he did.
Well, Bernie is at the hospital again, coach. I think you and Bernie are cut from a different era. I can't believe he got a transplant of that magnitude, and he's already out the hospital. I don't think they make men like you guys anymore. Some things are watered down now, but looks like he's recovering. I do want to also mention December 3rd, this Wednesday, our guy Russ and show the 2026 National High School Football Hall of Fame announcement is going to be on live stream at www.hofnetwork.tv. Coach some of the inductees, which you're a person that's been inducted into the High School Hall of Fame. Coach Stump. They got Ozzie Newsome, Drew Pearson, Tony Dorsett, Brian Bosworth, Jim Kelly, and our good friend Greg Pruitt, who's one of our brownies that we love. And so we're going to be going to that next Wednesday. Send that information out. Coach, let's talk about the Thanksgiving Day games. We got the Packers versus the Lions, the Chiefs versus the Cowboys, and the Bengals versus the Ravens. So, I want to ask you, Coach, as a player, have you played on Thanksgiving Day, and what is that like being an NFL player and still having to, you know, have some kind of family seasonal aspirations?
Yeah, I played on Thanksgiving Day. I can't remember who we played. It was probably either the Lions or the Cowboys. But it's definitely a time in which everybody is watching those games. So you're trying to do your best. You're hoping, for success, and then of course going back home and spending some time with your family. It's a great time for your family because they get a chance to see their loved one on TV playing in one of the biggest games that's going to happen that day.
Speaking of Turkey Day games, we got the Chiefs and the Cowboys. The Cowboys were down 21-0 to the Eagles. They mounted a comeback. Uh, what do you predict as far as what is that, the NFC East? Uh, can the Cowboys come out of there? Can they at least get in the wild card, Coach?
You're talking about the Chiefs mounting the comeback. What about the Cowboys mounting
I,
a comeback?
I'm talking about the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Both of those teams had to mount a comeback. The Chiefs against it was the Titans. Oh no, against the Colts. The Chiefs was playing the Colts. They had to
That's
come
right.
back and win that game. And then, of course, the Cowboys was playing the Eagles. They had to come back. So it's going to be a great game. But right now, you got CeeDee Lamb and you got Pickens. I mean, those guys are playing outstanding. Dallas isn't really running the ball extremely well, but they're playing good defense now. And I think, it's no question Dak can play. So I think, I really think the Cowboys is going to find a way to win that game.
The Packers aren't playing very well. I know the Lions are kind of bottoming out a little bit. What do you think is going to happen in that Packers Lions game? More crucial to the Lions, don't you think?
Yeah, I think the Lions will find a way to win that game. I really do. Jordan Love, he's struggling a little bit, but the Lions know they want to try to stay in the chase with the Bears, and they can't afford to lose the game.
And then the Bengals and the Ravens. The Ravens got a chance to go 7-5. The Bengals, we're still rooting for Flacco. I was hoping Flacco was going to lead them and get a playoff berth. Things kind of went left with that lack of defense down there in Cincinnati. What do you think is going to happen in that game, Coach?
The Ravens know they got to stay in the hunt. They can't afford to drop the game. I think they'll find a way to win because they know Pittsburgh is not going to lose too many games. But I think they know it's a must win for them.
Very good. We want to say hello to Saphyr, uh, spending some holiday time with her family. And Coach, we want to give you the last word on the Browns and football and the holidays. What do you have for us?
Well, the Browns fans they have to be thankful, really, for the opportunity to have their voices heard. It's no question they wanted Shador. I feel bad for Dylan because he's done nothing wrong. I mean, he's went there. He's performed in the system in which they have. You can't really say he hadn't thrown the ball down the field. Well, most of the quarterbacks that have played for the Browns the last couple of years haven't thrown the ball down the field. It's become a rink and dink uh, system, except for when they had Jameis Winston. Okay, and now you had a different guy calling the plays. The ball was going down the field. But with Kevin the last couple of years, he's been calling rinky dink drop type passing systems, and it hadn't worked. Okay. And then when they're not winning ball games, both times he succumbed to play calling and giving it to someone else. Hopefully, the offensive coordinator won't get fired because they may only win a couple more games, and he be used as the scapegoat this year.
Well, we want to say hello and thank you to Mayor Ed Orcutt from Brook Park. He came down to Tusk County. Our guy Russ helped us, helped the T County Browns backers create a relationship there. Him and his wife came down, and obviously with the construction of the stadium, he's going to probably be one of the most important mayors in the United States as of right now, at least in the sports world. So, I want to say hello to him and the work that he's doing with Russ and Show in the High School Hall of Fame. So he's family. And thank you, Coach, for another show. Thank you for your input. Thank you, Russ, best producer in the United States. Go Browns.
Yeah, let's just say a happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully, they'll be able to enjoy a great meal, enjoy some football, spend time with the loved ones, and like you say, go Browns.